Have you ever wondered how brutal punishments could be in ancient Rome? Forget modern justice. Back then, crimes weren't just punished, they were turned into gruesome spectacles. From unthinkable executions to bizarre rituals, the Romans had a unique way of dealing with lawbreakers. Let's dive into the terrifying world of crime and punishment in ancient Rome. 1. Parricide, the sack of horror ***. Killing a stranger was a crime, but killing your own flesh and blood? That was an unforgivable sin. The Romans believed that a parricide, someone who murdered a family member, deserved a punishment worse than death. They were condemned to pena culiae, or the penalty of the sack. The executioners would take a leather sack and fill it with a live dog, a monkey, a snake, and a rooster. Then, the convicted murderer would be sewn inside, trapped with these terrified and aggressive creatures. Once sealed, the sack was thrown into a river, ensuring that the doomed soul met a suffocating, terrifying end, clawed and bitten by the animals inside. A nightmare like no other. 2. Treason, they fall from grace. And a cliff ***. Betraying Rome was one of the worst offenses, and the punishment was as swift as it was deadly. The guilty were led to the Tarpeian Rock, a steep cliff overlooking the city. There, they were unceremoniously hurled over the edge, crashing onto the rocks below. If, by some miracle, they survived the brutal fall, Roman executioners awaited them at the bottom, ready to finish the job. No traitor walked away from this punishment. 3. Breaking the vow of celibacy, the living burial ***. The Vestal Virgins were among the most sacred women in Rome, serving as priestesses of Vesta, the goddess of the hearth. Their vow of celibacy was absolute. But what if one of them broke this sacred oath? The punishment was horrifying. Since spilling a Vestal Virgin's blood was considered a curse upon Rome, executioners had to be creative. The guilty priestess would be buried alive in an underground chamber with a loaf of bread, a jug of water, and a single oil lamp. Slowly, in absolute darkness, she would suffocate, an eerie fate for those who defied the gods. 4. Sorcery and poisoning, they feast for the beasts ***. Ancient Rome was full of paranoia, and anyone accused of sorcery, poisoning, or even Christianity could face a particularly terrifying death. Many of these so-called criminals were tied to wooden stakes in the Grand Colosseum, where thousands of spectators watched. But the real horror was yet to come. Once secured, they were left at the mercy of starved lions, who were released into the arena. In moments, the beasts would tear them apart in front of the roaring crowd, a brutal reminder of Rome's thirst for blood and spectacle. 5. Being the emperor, the deadliest job in Rome. You might think being the ruler of Rome was the pinnacle of power, but it was actually one of the most dangerous jobs in history. Of all the Roman emperors who met unnatural ends, the vast majority were assassinated. In fact, 30 out of 33 assassinated emperors were killed by the dagger, often by their closest allies. The job came with palaces, riches, and absolute power, but also a terrifying reality: you could be betrayed at any moment, even by those who swore to protect you. So, next time you think of ancient Rome as a grand empire of art and architecture, remember, it was also an empire of brutal justice. Their punishments weren't just about deterrence, they were about spectacle, fear, and absolute control. Justice was swift, merciless, and often unforgettable.